Unit 6, Section 3, key events relating to the consequences of the war. I want to talk now about the election of 1876. In the election of 1876, we see Rutherford B. Hayes, the Republican, that's what the R here means, defeats the Democrat Samuel Tilden. The problem with this election is that Tilden, the Democrat, got more popular votes. As has happened 5 times in our nation's history, the person that receives the most votes doesn't necessarily win the presidency, because we understand that it's not the people's votes that elect the president, but the Electoral College. And this is one of those elections in 1876. It was because of a disputed vote count in, of all places, the state of Florida. A special commission was formed of 11 men, 6 Republicans and 5 Democrats to determine where Florida's electoral votes would go. If Hayes got Florida's electoral votes, then he wins the presidency. If Samuel Tilden, the Democrat, gets Florida's votes, then he wins the presidency. Well, I think you can guess if there's 6 Republicans and 5 Democrats on a committee, who's going to choose, which one are they going to choose? They chose Rutherford B. Hayes. For the Republicans, there was a problem, however. The Democrats were not going to be very happy with this outcome. And so to placate them, to make them happy, they made an agreement with them. They promised that if they would accept Rutherford B. Hayes as President of the United States and work with him, they would remove federal troops from the South. This is the event that caused Reconstruction to end. This agreement that was made after the election of 1876 is known as the Compromise of 1877. You have to know them both, and you have to know them as 2 separate events. The election of 1876, in review, sees Rutherford B. Hayes get elected, and then a deal is made called the Compromise of 1877, in which federal troops were removed from the South. That is why we use the dates 1865, which was Lee surrendered at Appomattox Courthouse, as the beginning of, the end of the Civil War, and then 1877, the Compromise of 1877 is the end of the Reconstruction period, because there were no longer any troops in the South to enforce Reconstruction. This concludes Unit 6, Section 3, the election of 1876 and the Compromise of 1877.